Hey, welcome to a new video. Mythical creatures are entities originating from folklore and legends of various cultures worldwide. Although they're merely products of human imagination, people have believed in their existence throughout the ages. However, imagine if they were to actually exist in real life. That would be pretty creepy. Today, however, we'll show you 30 mythical creatures that you're glad don't exist. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. Number 30. In ancient Greek and Roman tales, there are creatures called Harpies. Harpies are a kind of legendary creatures that are half human and half bird. They have the body of a bird, but the face of a young girl. Sounds pretty scary, right? But that's not all. They also have long claws on their hands, ready to seize and scratch their prey. Some people thought that Harpies were actually beautiful women with wings, but others found them quite terrifying and ugly. In ancient stories, they were often portrayed as creatures with a hungry look and a terrible smell around them. In one of these old tales, the legend of Jason and the Argonauts, Harpies were sent to punish a cruel king named Phineas. He didn't treat his children well, so the gods sent the Harpies to scare him. It seems these scary flying creatures often did what they were commanded to by the gods, like Zeus. Number 29. In the land of the rising sun, Japan, mysterious creatures wander at night that look like ordinary people during the day. But once darkness falls, they transform into terrifying creatures called rokurobi. Imagine lying quietly in your bed, while outside the moon stands high in the sky. Suddenly, you hear a soft rustling at the window and see a shadow. Then you discover it's a rokurobi, with a neck that stretches like a snake hunting its prey. These creatures, often depicted as female spirits, have the terrifying ability to stretch their necks to incredible lengths, allowing them to peek inside or even grab people from their bedroom window. And what's even scarier is that they don't mind playing pranks on unsuspecting victims, like whispering fear into their ears or even drinking their blood while they sleep. According to legend, this creature is the result of a curse or supernatural transformation, often as punishment for a person's wicked deeds. Number 28. On a dark night, you hear the rumble of waves running along the frozen shore in the icy Arctic waters. But what if you suddenly hear a sound? A whisper, almost inaudible, coming from the water. This could be the Qualipiluit, a terrifying creature from Inuit mythology that steals children who come too close to the water. They're described as slippery, green creatures with long hair and sharp, long nails. Their hands resemble those of aquatic animals with scales and fins that glisten in the moonlight. And to make things even scarier, they wear an amatik, a traditional female garment. These creatures are the nightmare of every child in the polar regions. And legend has it that they grab children who come too close to the water and take them to the depths of the sea. Number 27. Deep in the dark waters of Slavic rivers and lakes lives a mysterious creature called vodnik. This water spirit is an old man with a frog-like face, green beard, and long hair that glistens like algae. His lean body is covered with mud and scales, making him look like a creature straight out of a horror story. But beware, for the vodnik has a dark side. He collects the souls of his drowned victims in porcelain pots at the bottom of his watery home. His interactions with people are dangerous and quite unpredictable, and sometimes he even seeks companionship or love from them. But be warned, it's never without risk. Believe it or not, some traditions consider vodniks as patrons of beekeeping. It was common to put the first swarm of the year in a bag, weigh it with a stone, and throw it into the nearest river as an offering. Number 26. You walk through a dark forest at night and suddenly come face to face with an angry spirit from Japanese mythology, an Oni. These rogues are feared for their association with disease, calamity, and misfortune. Inspired by the dreaded Japanese dragons, their skin colors range from terrifying blue to fiery red. But beware, for Oni have the terrifying ability to transform themselves into familiar animals, or even into humans. Although they are often depicted as humanoids with horns and sharp teeth, they can disguise themselves to surprise their prey. Oni also symbolize negative forces that people must overcome. They challenge us to engage in the battle between good and evil, and to face the consequences of our actions. And believe it or not, during traditional Japanese festivals and ceremonies, they are both revered and feared. For example, during Setsubun, people throw beans to drive away evil spirits, including the Oni. Number 25. The Gash Doro, also known as the Orokoro, is a special being composed of the bones of those who have died from hunger or war. With a height of up to 89 feet or 27 meters, this mythical Japanese creature hunts for its next victim. Its presence brings anger and bloodlust, and it roams the countryside around 2 a.m. If you're outside at the time, you're not safe. This creature can silently approach and seize its victims, crushing them in its icy hands or biting off their heads with a terrifying sound. Number 24. Deep in the wild forests of Native American tribes lurks a dark entity called the Skinwalker. Once wise healers and medicine men, they have been corrupted by dark forces. They have the ability to transform into any animal they desire. Whether it's a cunning fox or a swift wolf, they can become them all. But beware, don't talk about them too much, as it attracts their attention. What's scariest is that they can even mimic sounds resembling those of humans or animals, making it nearly impossible to distinguish them from the real thing. So be cautious when wandering the forest at night. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.
Number 23.
Deep in the mysterious Australian forest lurks a frightening creature called the Yamay Yaru, originating from ancient Aboriginal folklore. This creature is small with red skin, large eyes, and a toothless mouth. But beware of its fingers and toes, which resemble the suckers of an octopus. The Yamay Yaru hides in fig trees, patiently waiting for unsuspecting travelers, and once it sees someone resting under the tree, it attacks. It then sucks the blood from its victim with its suckers, and then swallows them whole. But it gets even scarier. Upon waking up from its nap, it regurgitates its victim, causing them to become shorter and redder. These creatures hunt during the day and only target living prey.
Number 22.
Deep in the darkness of Japanese folklore lurks a terrifying creature called the Yodo. This cunning creature has the power to transform itself into an enchantingly beautiful woman. But don't be fooled by her appearance, for her true form is that of a spider. This creature's known for her treacherous lure of young, handsome men, enticing them with promises of love and affection. But once she has captured her prey, she strikes with her strong silk threads, which can even restrain a grown man. Her deadly venom slowly weakens her victims as she enjoys their painful demise. But that's not all. The Yodo can even control other spiders, including fire-spewing spiders that she deploys to set houses of meddlers on fire. Some legends tell that this creature was once a woman who was mistreated in her life, and after her death sought revenge as a terrifying spider-like spirit.
Number 21.
Deep beneath the ground in the misty forests of Norway and beneath the waves of the icy Scandinavian seas resides a creature like no other, the Dragon. The Dragon is no ordinary ghost. Nope, it's an undead warrior, a true Viking returned after death to haunt the living. This mythical being is unlike other species. It doesn't have a transparent form, but a real body that is very strong and quite powerful, with its pale or bluish skin, making it seem straight out of a horror story. Some tales even speak of the Dragon being covered in seaweed, as if emerging from the depths of the sea. And you know what's even scarier? They emit a terrible odor of decay wherever they go, a smell so strong you can detect it from afar. They continue to haunt their graves after death, supposedly guarding the buried treasures and not wanting to share them with others. Additionally, they are filled with anger and envy, seeking revenge on the living for all that has been done to them.
Number 20.
Baba Yaga is an ancient, wise, and magical figure from Slavic folklore. She's often depicted as a powerful witch with a frightening reputation. With her hunched back, long unkempt hair, and iron teeth, she looks quite terrifying. Some stories even tell of her having a long nose and riding on a mortar and pestle, or even flying through the air while using a broom as a rudder. But the most peculiar thing about Baba Yaga is her magical hut, which seems straight out of a fairy tale. The hut stands on chicken legs and is surrounded by a fence made of human bones. Moreover, its roof is adorned with skulls that glow in the dark like stars in the sky. But what does Baba Yaga actually want? Well, she tests the courage and cunning of those who cross her path. Do you dare to take her challenge?
Number 19.
With a mouth resembling a beak, scaly skin, and a back like that of a turtle, the Kappa is one of the many terrifying creatures in Japanese folklore. According to the tales, Kappa reside in bodies of water, especially in freshwater sources. They enjoy tricking people by pulling them underwater or stealing crops from fields. They also love sumo wrestling and often challenge people to matches. But despite their mischievous antics, Kappa are said to be skilled in things like medicine, setting bones, and even speaking human languages. With their swollen hands, they grab hold of their victims and pull them beneath the water's surface. In some stories, they are depicted as malevolent creatures that attack and injure livestock, especially horses, cows, and other farm animals.
Number 18.
From ancient Greek texts comes the myth of Aswang. This creature is often portrayed as a gigantic sea monster, sometimes resembling a turtle or a whale. It's known for its deceptive nature and ability to lure sailors to their doom. The creature floats on the water's surface, with only a small part of its back visible. Sailors sometimes mistake it for an island and anchor their ship to rest or prepare meals. But once they begin to cook, the monster dies underwater, taking the anchored ships and their unsuspecting crew down with it. In medieval Christian texts, this creature was often seen as a symbol of Satan or the devil. So beware of this deceitful sea monster when you're at sea.
Number 17.
In the world of Slavic folklore dwells a creature that sends shivers down the spine, the bubak. This eerie figure resembles a scarecrow, or a creepy man made of straw, with eyes that seem to stare right into your soul and radiate a sense of malevolence. It often lurks in the darkness of the night, wandering along riverbanks and in dense forests. The most chilling aspect of this creature is its cunning trickery. It mimics the sound of a crying baby. Innocent travelers are lured by this seemingly innocent sound, only to fall into its trap. It's said that it preys on both children and adults, snatching them and hiding them in its sack or cart. Some stories even claim that it weaves the souls of its victims into fabric. These frightening tales often reach their climax on the evening of a full moon.
Number 16.
An encounter with an Aswang would surely be one of the most terrifying experiences ever. According to Philippine folklore, the Aswang is one of the most feared and dreaded creatures to exist. It's a terrifying combination of a werewolf, vampire, and witch, possessing monstrous strength. What's chilling about this creature is its ability to transform, appearing as a normal human during the day, but morphing into its true monstrous form during the night. And it has an insatiable appetite for human flesh and blood, especially targeting vulnerable individuals like children and pregnant women. Some tales even claim they have long tongues, with which they can extract fetuses from pregnant women. Pretty terrifying.
Number 15.
Imagine sailing on a ship surrounded by deep waters and towering waves. Suddenly, you come upon a perilous point in the sea, known as the Strait of Messina. On one side, you see Sila, a monster with 12 feet, 6 terrifying heads, and a body surrounded by barking dog heads. She resides in a dark cave and devours anything that crosses her path. On the other side is Charybdis, a sea monster resembling a whirlpool that swallows and regurgitates the waters 3 times a day, creating a dangerous maelstrom. So faced with a choice, which creature would you rather encounter? It seems like both are a bad answer.
Number 14.
In the ancient myths of Athens and Crete, there's a tale of a creature that was half man, half bull, the fearsome Minotaur. The story begins with the queen of Pasiphae of Crete, who fell in love with a powerful bull, sent by the god Zeus. Their offspring, the Minotaur, was a strange and savage-looking creature. King Minos, Pasiphae's husband, was deeply ashamed of the Minotaur and decided to conceal it from the world. He had a complex labyrinth built beneath his palace by the clever craftsman Daedalus. This labyrinth was so confusing and intricate that anyone who entered it became hopelessly lost. But the Minotaur was trapped within its maze, and King Minos demanded sacrifices of young men and women from Athens every year to feed the creature. It was a frightening time for the people of Athens, knowing they might be next to end up in the labyrinth.
Number 13.
For centuries, sailors around the world have feared the Kraken, a terrifying sea monster that has its tentacles tightly wrapped around the oceans. Originating from Scandinavian mythology, the Kraken is often depicted as a gigantic squid-like creature, with numerous powerful tentacles rising from the depths like giant arms. Its size and power are quite legendary, with the ability to crush entire ships and drag their crews into the depths. The stories of the Kraken have been passed down through the ages, finding a place in ancient texts and sagas. While some believe it to be merely a legend, others think it's based on real animals, such as giant squids or colossal octopuses. These creatures are considered the closest living relatives of the Kraken. Imagine sailing on a ship on the wild seas and suddenly seeing the tentacles of the Kraken rise up. The idea alone is enough to send shivers down your spine.
Number 12.
The Banshee originates from Irish folklore and is considered a fairy or spirit associated with death, often seen as a harbinger of doom. She can appear as a young and beautiful woman, or conversely as an old and withered figure. Her appearance varies, but some common descriptions include a woman dressed in a shroud, a pale woman clad in a white dress with long red or silver hair, or even an old woman with eerie red eyes, a green dress, and long white hair. In some stories, she's depicted as headless while carrying a bowl of blood. The Banshee is known for her heart-wrenching wails. Her mournful cries are said to be heard before a family member dies. It's thus a chilling warning of impending doom.
Number 11.
The Red Cap is a terrifying creature from border folklore, especially associated with the border between England and Scotland. This malevolent, murderous dwarf or fairy is often depicted as a stout old man with red eyes, clawed hands, and large teeth. He wears a red cap and holds a pike staff in his left hand. His iron-shod boots portray his presence, but despite his heavy armor, the Red Cap is surprisingly swift. It's said to dwell in the ruins of castles along the border between England and Scotland. They scare away travelers who intrude upon their homes and color the caps with the blood of their victims. However, the blood must be renewed regularly, or else they will perish. Thus, the Red Caps seek out new victims to satisfy their bloodlust and maintain their terrifying reputation.
Number 10.
Cut off one head and 2 more grow back. That's the mysterious secret of the Lernaean Hydra, a legendary water monster from Greek and Roman mythology. According to ancient tales, the Hydra was the offspring of Typhon and Echidna, 2 terrifying creatures. Its home was the dark lake of Lerna in Greece, believed to be the gateway to the underworld. The Hydra was described as a gigantic serpent-like creature with many heads. Its breath was poisonous, and its blood so dangerous that even its scent was deadly. But most astonishing of all was its ability to regenerate. Every time someone managed to chop off one of its heads, 2 new ones would immediately grow back. You can imagine how difficult it would be to fight against this creature. Even the legendary hero Hercules had a hard time defeating it.
Number 9.
A fox with multiple tails weaving around you like a skilled dancer, spinning mental circles around anyone it encounters. That's the Kitsune, a mysterious creature from ancient Japanese tales. The Kitsune is like a fox spirit with supernatural powers, including the ability to shapeshift and wield fire. What truly sets it apart are the many tails it carries. The number of tails on a kitsune indicates how old and powerful it is. The more tails it has, the more powerful and wise it's believed to be. Kitsune are known for their ability to change shape, often taking the form of beautiful women. But beware, for kitsune are also mischievous pranksters. They delight in tricking people, especially those who are arrogant or boastful. With their shape-shifting abilities, they can create illusions and visions, confusing their targets. And watch out for their foxfire, called kitsune bai, which they use to deceive travelers and lead them astray.
Number 8.
The name UmiBosu translates to sea monk in English, but this sea monster is far from friendly. UmiBosu is described as a terrifying creature with a bald head, a dark body, and eyes that glow white in the darkness. According to tales, it rises from the depths of the ocean and attacks ships, causing them to sink. It often emerges during calm nights, bringing sudden storms and violent waves with it. UmiBosu demands a sacrifice from the crew, and if it doesn't get one, it will scoop water onto the deck, causing the boat to sink and the crew to drown. Some legends suggest that UmiBosu is the spirit of a drowned monk, while others believe it to be a mysterious force emerging from the depths of the ocean.
Number 7.
At the gates of hell stands a creature that you can't just call a dog. According to Greek mythology, Cerberus was the offspring of two monstrous beings, Typhon and Echidna. He's often depicted as a huge dog with 3 heads, although some tales claim he has even more heads, up to 50 or 100. His body was surrounded by serpents, and he has a tail made of snakes. Cerberus had one crucial task, guarding the gates of the underworld. He ensured that the living did not enter, and that the dead could not escape. He served Hades, the ruler of the underworld, and made sure everyone stayed in their place. One of the legendary tasks given to Hercules was to capture Cerberus and bring him into the world of the living.
Number 6.
In the Arabian and Middle Eastern folklore resides a terrifying creature, known as the Ghoul. This creature is feared for its dwelling in graveyards and remote areas. The Ghoul is often depicted as a female entity, sometimes referred to as Mother Ghoul or Anti-Ghoul. She lures individuals, usually men, to her lair to devour them. With the ability to take the form of an animal, especially a hyena, the Ghoul is associated with grave robbing and cannibalism. The creature is described as having an emaciated, pale, and partially decomposed appearance. Its flesh, eyes, and hair are considered lifeless, with potentially rotting features. But despite this frail appearance, the Ghoul possesses immense strength and can easily overpower its victims. It has an insatiable appetite for human flesh, especially from the dead.
Number 5.
In the distant realms of Arabian and Middle Eastern folklore reigns a mighty creature known as the Roc. This gigantic bird of prey surpasses many other mythical beings in size, making it one of the largest birds in the world of myths and legends. The tales of this creature are numerous and are often mentioned in the famous collection of Arabian fairy tales, known as 1001 Nights. This powerful bird is known for its ability to lift and carry away enormous animals, even elephants and humans. In some stories, the Roc is depicted as a terrifying and ruthless predator that devours its prey with relentless force. In other tales, it's seen as the guardian of a secret valley full of treasures, where it spreads its enormous wings as a protector.
Number 4.
In the world of Greek mythology, where heroes and villains meet, Medusa is known as a figure full of contradictions. For some, she's a villain. For others, a victim of circumstances. According to the myth, Medusa was once a beautiful woman, but her fate took a dark turn when she caught the attention of Poseidon in the temple of Athena. This resulted in the curse that transformed her into the terrifying creature with snakes for hair and a deadly gaze that could turn people into stone. Her fateful transformation was a result of a conflict between two powerful gods, and she was ultimately killed by Perseus in his quest for heroism. Whether Perseus' act was justified is the matter of debate. Some believe that he acted out of necessity to protect himself and others from the danger that Medusa represented. Others may think that Medusa was not responsible for her transformation, and that her death was unnecessary.
Number 3.
The Headless Horseman, known as Dullahan, is a terrifying figure from Irish folklore. He appears in the darkest nights, riding on a black horse without a head, but beware, for in his hand or under his arm, he carries his own severed head. With a creepy grin and eyes that glow like fire, he is a frightening sight. The Dullahan has supernatural sight, allowing him to see great distances, even in the deepest darkness. He's the messenger of death, a terrifying omen that appears when fate strikes. This ghostly figure is often seen during festivals and holidays, especially in remote areas of Ireland, where it's said to be particularly active and fills the night with fear and suspense.
Number 2.
Jinn are supernatural beings created by Allah according to Islamic tradition, formed from smokeless fire, similar to how humans are created from clay. They possess free will and inhabit a parallel world to that of humans, yet they can interact and influence the human world. Jinn are considered conscious beings capable of both good and evil deeds, and they have their own societies, families, and communities. Often depicted as shapeshifters, they can assume various forms, such as animals, humans, or even inanimate objects. They're seen as possessors of extraordinary powers, including invisibility, superhuman strength, and the ability to traverse great distances at great speed. Over the centuries, jinn have been associated with supernatural events, possession, and spiritual practices. Additionally, they're mentioned in the Quran and have been part of Arab folklore for centuries, with their role and characteristics evolving and even changing over time.
Number 1.
Typhon, also known as the father of all monsters, is a terrifying creature from Greek mythology. He's depicted as a gigantic serpentine figure with a humanoid upper body, as well as wings, and many as 100 dragon heads growing from his neck and shoulders. His eyes emit fire, and from his mouth he spews molten lava and rocks. Typhon is likely considered the most dangerous being in Greek mythology. According to various myths, he's regarded as the son of Gaia, the earth, and Tartarus, the underworld, or as the son of Hera alone, or even as the offspring of Cronus. Together with his partner Echidna, he's the ancestor of many famous monsters, including the Hydra, the Chimera, and the Caucasian Eagle. Typhon once attempted to overthrow Zeus and seize dominion over the universe, leading to an epic battle between them. What's your favorite mythical creature? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.